Hello friends, I am back again in this video. How are you all? I wish you are fine and well. So, today in this video, we are going to talk about the nervous system, how it dominates and controls our body, like a government controlling a country. It is the organ system of law and order. It helps to do the main functions of our body. And let's learn about this important system. So let's learn. Okay, the nervous system is divided into two parts: central nervous system aka CNS and peripheral nervous system aka PNS. The central nervous system is divided into the brain and the spinal cord. In other words, you can say that the central nervous system consists of the whole nervous system except the nerves, and the peripheral nervous system PNS consists of only the nerves. It is also divided into two parts: autonomic peripheral nervous system and somatic peripheral nervous system. The brain is further divided into three parts: cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebrum is further divided into four parts: frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and the occipital lobe. Okay, so let's talk about each organ. The brain, it is a muscular-like organ, soft like jelly. It is grey or pinkish in color. It is one-fourth a kilo in weight. And do you know why are these wrinkles over the brain? These wrinkles determine intelligence, but you must be thinking, how do these ugly patches determine intelligence? Because wrinkles determine surface area. So, more the wrinkles means more the neurons. More the neurons means more the surface area, and more the surface area means more the intelligence. So wrinkles determine our intelligence. And apart from the three parts, cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem, the brain is divided into two other parts: left brain here and the right brain. Those whose left brain is dominant work in their right hand, and those whose right brain is dominant work in their left hand. So the left brain visualizes thinking, linear thinking, then logic, mathematics, and logical reasoning, while the right brain determines color. Right brain identifies color, holistic thinking, arts, creativity, and imagination. So it is normally said that people whose left part brain is dominant is intelligent than people whose right part brain is dominant. But this is not always true. So this left brain or right brain also indirectly determine our intelligence. So let's talk about the four parts of the brain. Here, the brain has four parts: frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and occipital lobe. Like I said, frontal lobe is present at the front of our brain, just like its name. The frontal lobe has a function to do, which I am going to visualize to you. Okay, let me give you a math sum. 5 into 20. How much it is? 100. The answer is 100. If you got the right answer, your frontal lobe is working properly. So, like I demonstrated through this easy math sum, the frontal lobe helps us to do maths, intellectual activities, and logical reasoning. Then the parietal lobe. On my command, raise your right hand. I did it. So if you did raise your right hand, your parietal lobe is working properly. And also another thing, pinch yourself really hard. Yeah, I mean it. Do it. Okay, so your parietal lobe is working properly if you feel hurt. That means the parietal lobe helps us to develop muscular movements and pain. They help us to feel the muscular movements and the pain. And they also help us to read and write. They help us to balance. So that's why you can stand on one foot and dance on one foot or even hop on one foot if your parietal lobe is working properly. Then the occipital lobe. It is present in the backward area of this brain. The occipital lobe helps us to determine and sense movement from the still objects to the moving objects. And last, the temporal lobe. It is in here. The temporal lobe memorizes what you are reading or hearing. And I wish you are memorizing whatever I am saying also if your temporal lobe works properly. The temporal lobe, like I said, helps us to remember whatever we hear or read. Okay, let me give you a game. Just listen to the sentence. Jack went to the market on a cycle to bring milk, tomatoes and butter. Now repeat. Okay, did you get it right? Good. Your temporal lobe is working properly. So, all these 4 lobes make our cerebrum and it covers 85% of our brain surface area. It is the largest brain part in our brain. Then the cerebellum. It is present behind the occipital lobe. It is also called mini brain. The cerebellum is divided into left cerebellum and right cerebellum. It is called mini brain because it is very important. The cerebellum helps us to do voluntary activities like reading, walking, dancing, singing, etc. And it also helps us to balance like the parietal lobe. Okay. Now the medulla or the brainstem. I prefer to call it medulla, but medulla is the scientific name. So the medulla connects the brain with the spinal cord. Not only that, it also helps us to do many involuntary activities like beating of heart, breathing, digesting of food, etc. We don't decide them. The medulla decides them. The medulla is also very important like the cerebellum. And let me demonstrate you how the brain works in hot and cold. And itch. So, like I itched just now. Do you know why this itching happened? When a foreign particle lands on our skin, inside or outside, which is not necessary, then a message sent to the brain that it irritates that part, that the part irritates me, and the brain sends a message to itch it. So we itch it like this. Here we itch it with our nails and we feel relief. Do you know why we scratch the itching area? There are 2 reasons for this. 1, to feel relief from the itchy, and 2, to make the brain trick into thinking that there are more important things to think about more than just an itch. And also, yeah, I can see, just go in a fanless room and I can see drops of sweat on your forehead. Hey. So, when the neurons feel hot on the nerves present on our skin, they shoot a message to the brain and the brain reacts and makes the sweat glands to release sweat appearing on your skin and cooling you down apparently. And I recommend to you running to the AC and cooling it down, cooling it a bit. Hey, not all the way down. Oh, nice, you are shivering now. So, the neurons feel extreme cold and shoot a message to the brain. The brain shoots a message to the medulla, which then shoots a message to all the involuntary organs of the spinal cord like the heart and tells it to beat faster so that our limbs won't freeze and liquid warm blood will get on circulating. If the heart doesn't beat faster, then our limbs will freeze. Okay. And your breath rate will slow down. Okay, now I can see you have become a wiser person and switching on the AC's temperature little bit. Also, let me tell you how the brain helps you to roller skate and many other sports and activities. Like, you go to the supermarket, buy a pair of roller skates, put them on your feet and start skating. You fall. Do you know why this happens? Because the brain senses some unusual messages from some unusual conditions and starts connecting neurons adapted for that, and also tries to adapt itself to that weird situation. When we fall again and again and again and again. But falling is a good habit. It helps us to learn from mistakes, and the brain is also learning from mistakes, like falling again. Every time we fall, the brain adapts to that situation and makes neuron connections. So by the 5th, 10th or 50th attempt, you will be able to skate like a pro, because the brain has already adapted to the situation and has joined enough neurons for that. Yes. And you will be able to skate and think, why was I clumsy? Then the spinal cord. The spinal cord is a thick telephone wire like cable that passes through the brain into the nerves, connects all the nerves of the body. Now let me tell you about reflex action. For example, touch a hot bowl in your kitchen. Yeah, I mean it. Go and do it. Did you feel hot? Yes. You quickly extracted your finger from there. This is because the message shoots to the spinal cord and the spinal cord answers back that put your finger away. Do you know why it's going to the spinal cord and not the brain? This is because the message doesn't get enough time to go to the brain. Even though messages take less than a millisecond to go to the brain, they still don't find enough time. So they send it in a nanosecond to the spinal cord. Spinal cord says, put off your finger. All this happens in 1 nanosecond. So fast. But the message has traveled here and there. So on the count of 1, I will sever all the neuron connections between the spinal cord and the nerves below your waist. 1. But what's this? You have become limp. Why? This is because your central nervous system can't detect where the nerves are. So what can they do? Poor things. Okay, restoring connections now. Don't worry. You will be able to walk and talk. Yeah. So now I've told you everything in our nervous system. I like to say one thing, that dear viewers, please say the topic of my next video. The topic I like best will be made in a video first. This is all for today. Meet you in the next video. Bye bye.